right, we are shooting a video here and I'm looking at red lines between long iron and short iron. So I shot a video on long irons and I shot a video on short irons, just kind of talking about clubs. And Mitchum had asked a question and I want to see here. So let's get into our, so here's our long iron range. So we're just getting into long iron right up in there with our Goliath. And then let's go back. So we're short iron, very small transitional area right here. So let's switch to a bag that's got a backbone in it, not as far hitting club. And we're in that same area. And then my minimum is going to be shortened. But the minimum down here looks like it's pretty close to exactly the same area as before. Still in my thorn, switches over immediately. Got those two bags. Here's a Saturn, switches over immediately. So let's go look at that on a just a white hole here. So let's just draw this out on a white piece of white screen. So here's my let me walk through the thought process here. So long iron. So we got a Goliath long hitter. Backbone of Saturn just had those in the bag. They're going to hit out into here. So this is max. And here's minimum. And it appears, based off of that minimum for a backbone is here. Minimum for a Saturn is here. Minimum for a Goliath is here. So it looks like the minimum club, the minimum distance that you can hit with a long iron looks like it's the same for every club that we tried right there, but the max is going to be different. That means the minimum is going to be, on a Goliath, your minimum is going to be longer, bigger distance between here and here and here and here than it will be if you're hitting with a Saturn or a backbone where it's tightened up. So it does look like if you're with a short iron, you're going to get up to this length, and your long iron is going to pick up from a distance, whatever that distance happens to be. And it looks like it's pretty close to what the max distance was right there for Hornet. Actually, let's go look at those clubs here real quick. And we are out of that, so hold on. Now we're stuck. Now we're lost in translation. What we can do here. What we can do. So we were in the right spot to begin with. Let's go check out clubs. Hey. Let's check out long irons. And I want to check out short iron distances first, because we were right there with a thorn, which is a bigger hitting club. It hits 90. So with my thorn, I mean, I'm right there at that line. My Hornet, I'm at 88. So, I mean, it's just right there. I think one of them hits 92, 79, 90, 90, 88, 87. I guess 90 is it. So we're right there at the max that we can do, and the transitional line is just right there at it on and pretty much for both clubs. So I think the way that the clubs work, and never having really thought about that before, but when your max line is here for, if we're in the long iron range, you've got Goliath, and then you've got all the other clubs based on their distance if you rank them, but their minimum club appears to be the same. So they're all hitting somewhere like in minimum distance, somewhere in that 90 is where right where you're starting to break the red line. I don't think you could achieve 90 unless you short shot it. But it looks like when you pull it back this direction to get to the minimum red line, that when your ball guide engages that red line right here, that's about 90 yards, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it looks like they all hit about exactly the same. I'll have to sit and think about how that, the interaction between the clubs on how that will work them. I know that when you're the transition at the top, I'm going to have to go through and see how that really, I'm going to go back and relook at, and if I represented in the video that I shot that I actually thought that the red line, like a Goliath's red line, would be max red line here, and here would be its minimum, and that this distance right here was pretty much a given. And that if you were with a backbone, you'd be hitting here, and here'd be your minimum, and then this range of area that you can hit in will float up and down depending on the club that you have. But it appears that the front part up here is correct, but this lower tier, this Goliath, is hitting all the way down to the minimum. So you've got a much bigger spread with your Goliath. You're starting off on this, and then each club is drawing up, and that's how high each club can hit. All right, we'll digest that and see how that works in the game. I'm going to sit and think about that for a while and stuff, but it appears that is how the red line stuff works, at least for the long iron, short iron. So I'll have to try it out with other clubs as well. Thanks for watching.